Peace and light, everyone, and welcome to Enchanted Echoes Occult Sciences podcast, episode 11 Eastern Mysticism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. I want to welcome you guys back to another riveting episode of Enchanted Echoes and Occult Sciences podcast. And today is February 21, 2025, and you're listening to episode 11 Eastern Mysticism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. I'm your host, Dr. Jackie, and I can't wait to dive into these profound spiritual traditions with you. Join us on this enlightening voyage as we bridge the wisdom of the past with the spiritual practices of today, only on Enchanted Echoes. In our previous episode, we unraveled the esoteric wisdom of Kabbalistic mysticism, delving into the tree of life, the Sephiroth, and the mystical journeys of the soul. We explored how Kabbalah's intricate system of divine emanations and spiritual practices has shaped influencers of the occult and the influencing of modern occult sciences all over the world. And so today, what we're doing in this episode is we're going to be exploring the profound mystical traditions of Hinduism and Buddhism. And we're continuing our quest for enlightenment by venturing into the spiritual landscape of Hinduism and Buddhism, exploring the rich tapestry of the Hindu mystic system with this pantheon of gods, sacred rituals, and the pursuit of moksha or liberation. We'll then transition to the serene realms of Buddhism, where the quest for enlightenment leads us to the Eightfold Path and guides practitioners toward inner peace and wisdom. Hinduism and Buddhism are ancient paths that offer deep spiritual insights, powerful meditative practices, and transformative philosophies that continue to shape the world of mysticism and the occult. Segment one: Hindu mysticism, the yogic path of enlightenment. Hinduism offers a vast array of spiritual teachings, but at its heart lies the quest for enlightenment through self realization. The Vedas, Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita lay the foundation for understanding the divine karma and liberation or moksha. Key mystical concepts include the Kundalini energy, the coil serpent energy at the base of the spine that, when awakened, leads to spiritual enlightenment. And then there are the mantras and meditation, these sacred sound vibrations that allow us to attain higher frequencies, such as the mantra Om, that aligns the practitioner with higher frequencies. And then there's the chakra system. Most people have heard about the chakras, but these are the seven energy centers within our bodies that regulate physical, emotional, and spiritual well being. And then the power of the deities. The worship of deities like Shiva, Vishnu, and Shakti, embodiments of cosmic forces as they are known to be. Segment two: Buddhist mysticism, the path of awakening. Buddhism is rooted in the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, offering a mystical approach to enlightenment through meditation, mindfulness, and detachment from material illusions. Core mystical teachings of Buddhism include the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. This is the roadmap to ending suffering and attaining nirvana. Then there's Zen and Tibetan Buddhism. These are meditative disciplines, visualization practices, and energy work such as Tumo heat meditation. the nature of emptiness, or sunyata, understanding the illusory nature of reality and transcending ego consciousness, and the use of mandalas, sacred geometric symbols representing the universe, used in meditation and ritual practices. And many of us use them in our spiritual practices when it comes to counseling and coaching. So, mandalas is one of my biggest or most use tools when it comes to working with other people, whether it's a group or whether it's a one-on-one client, to help them get familiar and acclimate themselves with symbols that are used from ancient times on up to date to represent the universe. Segment 3: practical application for modern practitioners. Hindu and Buddhist mysticism offers practical tools for anyone seeking spiritual growth. Some ways to integrate these traditions into your life include practicing daily meditation and mantra recitation, exploring yogic breath work or pranayama, and energy healing, studying sacred texts and applying their wisdom, and engaging in mindfulness to cultivate presence and inner peace. Hinduism and Buddhism provide profound mystical insights that guide seekers toward enlightenment, self discovery, and a deeper connection to the cosmos. Their rich traditions are rooted in spiritual science and practice, continue to inspire and transform lives across the world today. Here's some words of wisdom from the Buddha. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. I want to invite you to join us for our upcoming episode, episode 12, as we delve deeper into occult sciences and occult sciences teachings. We are learning about how ancient cultures use symbols and signs and certain words such as Heka to access the hidden realms, and how you can harness this magic of sigils and symbolism and words for your personal transformation and manifestation. I hope you guys had enough time to just marinate on the information that was shared earlier in today's show. I'm going to give a music shout out, an attribution for the wonderful music that is sourced from YouTube library that you hear in the background. I want to shout out beatsavenue.com for the track Be Happy, beatsavenue.com artist Travis Green for the track Light the Way. We'll also be hearing a track from Peace, deep instrumental worship music, and chill instrumental non-copyrighted music by Breaking Copyright. Non-copyrighted royalty free music is what started today's show off for us. And so, you guys, let's delve into some information in regards to what some practical applications for modern practitioners are. Hindu and Buddhist mysticism offers practical tools for anyone who seeks spiritual growth. Some ways to integrate these traditions into our lives include, but are not limited to, practicing daily meditation and mantra recitations, exploring yogic breath work and energy healing, studying the sacred texts and applying their wisdom, and engaging in mindfulness to cultivate presence and inner wisdom. I want to give a listener shout out. Well, three. One to Sage Mystic for your thoughtful comments on meditation practices. Number two, Astral Seeker for sharing your experiences with energy work. And number three, Lotus Alchemy for your insights on chakra healing. I want you guys to hold on for me for 1 second. Someone is ringing my doorbell. All right, you guys, I want to thank you for holding on. I got an unexpected visitor, but it's about time for me to be wrapping things up. And so I just gave those three listener shout outs to the people who are supporting my show. And remember that the information provided in this episode is for educational and spiritual exploration purposes only. Listeners should conduct their own research and consult qualified professionals before engaging in any mystical practices. Again, music attribution. Shout out to YouTube, non copyrighted music for their music that is sourced to utilize and create the episodes. And shout out to Deep Instrumental Worship Music, beatsavenue.com, and Breaking Copyright Non Copyrighted Music. The worksheet for integrating Eastern mysticism can be accessed from the completed YouTube video, Rumble video, or you can hit me up on my website at pimsbalances.com. I'll shoot it to you, or just send me your email. These worksheets help you deepen your understanding of Eastern mysticism, and any of the podcast shows that I do, they all are accompanied by a worksheet, except for and some of them are comprehensive, like Mental Health Monday, Midweek Boost, and Sunday Boost have comprehensive worksheets because each month I focus on a theme. But the occult sciences or Enchanted Echoes doesn't have a comprehensive worksheet, but I try and create a worksheet for every episode. So today's episode 11, if you'd like to get it, just hit me up and I'll be more than happy to send it to you. Or you can download the worksheet by visiting our website, pimpbalances.com, checking show notes on the YouTube, Rumble. Just like I said earlier, this is a pretty good worksheet, you guys. I mean, it's going to help you. It go through core concepts, mystical practices, the sacred texts, and it has information about mysticism, Buddhism, and some of the other Eastern practices. I do a comparative section where it says comparative reflection, asking you to compare and contrast the mystical tradition so that you'll know how to explain what you're doing in your own words, not only for others, but you need to know what it is for yourself. So doing comparative reflections kind of helps us to put things in our own words so that we can better understand them. And then I offer additional resources, books, online articles, and courses, and then a final note. And so with that, that's part one. We're going to delve into today's Black History Month shout out. Happy Black History Month. This is where we celebrate the incredible contributions, resilience, and achievements of African Americans throughout history, from the civil rights movement to groundbreaking innovations. Black history is American history and world history. So let's honor the legacy and continue to strive for quality and justice for all. Shout out to the Black nation. I want to give a special shout out to Dr. John Henry Clark. And Dr. John Henry Clark, people may say she's always talking about him, but Dr. John Henry Clark is like one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Not only because he is or when he was living, he was a black man, but he's a black ancestor. But Dr. Clark just broke it down for us so we can know who we are. Stop thinking that you are just only the product of slavery. Our history goes back millions of years, and he started breaking it down in the United States. Then he tag team with, shout out to Dr. Yosef Ben Yakadin and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. I mean, they were powerhouses for me to help me become enlightened and to be confident in being a black woman, a black person over here in the United States, where people are continuously trying to erase the contributions of our ancestors. And I don't care where I am, where I'm going, or what I'm doing. I will always give a shout out to my ancestors and to the black people who are 10 toes down, still fighting the struggle of liberation for black people. Because honestly, there's no way that black people should be in a predicament that they are now in this country. We're still the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to economics. But I don't think that that's a stay put type of situation. America is going through so many shifts and changes, and we have to. I mean, a lot of the things that America is going through, black people have already been going through. And so they're not phasing us. We're going to roll on over it and keep on living. And so I shout out to my nation, my people, black people. Don't let nobody or nothing get you down. I mean, you have people on TV that's talking about us, and on YouTube talking about how we wash with a washcloth, but they don't wash. I'm like, you stink. Just as simple as that. It's nasty. Just as simple as that. People are talking about how black people haven't made it in this country. Well, you don't know the history. That's why you need to read their history, and then you'll know our story. Systemic racism has always been alive in this country, alive and well, and it's still taking place right now and today. But black people, this is a message to you all. And I'm not racist, none whatsoever, but I'm a realist. I keep it real and I tell the truth. That's why when you delving in occult sciences, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, how important it is to be truthful. So rolling right along now, shout out to the ancestors, shout out to Black History Month. Let's roll into the now factor. This story today is about Trump's Black History Month event. Recent former President Donald Trump held a Black History Month event in the White House despite his administration's controversial stance on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Trump celebrated the contributions of Black Americans. He honored notable figures like Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass, and also emphasized the importance of focusing on 1776 rather than 1619. The event highlighted the complex relationship between Trump's outreach to Black voters and his administration. He gave a shout out to Prince Tim. He was the first person who had blood shed fighting for this country, and he was a Black man. So you guys need to look that video up on YouTube, and don't get so caught up in this war between Republicans and Democrats. You have to learn to be a lead. And the first leader knows how to be led, but they know how to lead themselves. And so a lot of people have gotten caught up in what other people say without doing the research. And so this man did do an event, and not only is he doing an event, but he has created an area that's going to be dedicated to American heroes, Black American heroes, that's going to be a part of the White House. So you guys need to look that up. Trump's Black History Month event. Do your own research. Just don't believe me. Because again, the views expressed on this show are my views, and they do not reflect anyone else's. Do your research. and find the truth out for yourself. Because in the words of the great Dr. Delbert Blair, shout out to the ancestor Dr. Delbert Blair, there is no truth until you find out what the truth is yourself. So look this story up. I think it's a beautiful story because many people that I know were just pissed off saying that he's stripping black people, don't want us to teach about our Black History Month. And then the man does an event in the White House. And so it is what it is. Whether he had an ulterior motive for doing it after he did all the DEI or whatever it is, whether he's creating this little black people garden, the American Heroes Garden, just to kind of smooth over some of the stuff he did with DEI. The fact of the matter is, this is truth. Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and Prince Tim, who was the first person to be killed in 1776 on a part of our nation, the Black People's Nation. Now let's roll on into truth and occultism. The concept of truth is often intertwined with various belief systems, including occultism. Occultism explores hidden or esoteric knowledge, often involving mystical, supernatural, or magical elements. The pursuit of truth in occultism can be seen as a quest for deeper understanding and enlightenment beyond the surface level reality. However, it's important to approach such topics with critical thinking and discernment, as the line between truth and belief can be something of a blur. That's why you hear all this stuff. Fake news, fake news. That was Donald Trump's term, wasn't it? He coined it like back when he first ran for president. But we really have to be careful these days because there's a lot of fake news that's going on. And so I hope this news clip was interesting to you and covered something that you was looking for in regards to some of the current events that's going on. And guys, with that said, I am going to wrap up. I'm going to ask you guys to join us next week for um, some more enlightening information. I have some books that I would suggest you read: the Upanishads, the Heart of Buddha's Teaching. So the Upanishads is translated by Eknath Aswaran, and the Heart of Buddha's Teaching by Thich Nhat Hanh. There are online articles that you can read on mysticism, Hinduism, and Buddhism, and there are also some courses that you can take. Intro into Eastern Mysticism. A final note: engaging with these mystical traditions requires an open mind and a respectful, truthful approach. As you explore these concepts, consider how they align with your own beliefs and experiences. And remember, the journey of understanding mysticism is deeply personal and unfolds uniquely for each individual. Join us next week for the next episode, episode 12, and enjoy your journey into the mystical wisdom of the East. Peace and light.